Hello everyone, this is Shantanu Bhosle and welcome you all in Curious Academy. In our today's video, we will discuss 50 years of emergency. The story of India's 1975 emergency, a turning point in democracy. It was a humid night on June 25, 1975. Radios across India crackled with an unexpected announcement. A state of emergency had been declared. Street emptied. Dissenting voices fell silent, and overnight, the world's largest democracy seemed to take a dark turn. This year marks the beginning of the 50th year since that fateful day, a time when India stood at a crossroads, caught between the ideals of democracy and the tightening grip of authoritarian rule. Causes of the 1975 emergency: the built up cracks in the system. The seeds of the emergency were sown in a courtroom. In the case of State of Uttar Pradesh versus Rajnaren 1975, the Allahabad High Court found Prime Minister Indira Gandhi guilty of electoral malpractices. The verdict disqualified her from parliament and banned her from contesting elections for 6 years. It was a stunning blow, on that shook the very foundation of her authority. Outside the courtroom, India shimmered with unrest. Jayaprakash Narayan, a respected freedom fighter, was rallying students, intellectuals, and the common public under his banner of total revolution. From the colleges of Gujarat to the streets of Bihar, people were protesting inflation, joblessness, and corruption. The political ground was shifting. But that wasn't all. International pressures mounted as well. The 1971 Bangladesh War had drained India's resources. American aid had stopped, and global oil prices soared. Inflation surged 23% in 1973, 30% in 1974, while jobs vanished and hope diminished. As public anger grew, another conflict brewed, this time between the executive and the judiciary. Landmark Supreme Court decisions like Keshwanand Bharti 1973 and Golaknath 1967 placed limits on Parliament's power, especially over fundamental rights. Indira Gandhi, seeing this as threats to her authority, began to feel concerned. Legal and constitutional changes during emergency on June 25, 1975, emergency provisions invoked, citing internal disturbance. Indira Gandhi recommended to President Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad that a national emergency be declared under Article 352. That night, without warning, democracy was paused. Fundamental rights were suspended. Under Article 358, freedoms like speech, assembly, and movement vanished. Article 359 removed legal protections against arbitrary arrest. By morning, opposition leaders were in jail. Newspapers faced censorship. The government ruled by decree, reshaping the constitution in silence. The machinery of law was swiftly repurposed. The 38th Amendment 1975 ensured that emergency proclamations could not be questioned in court. The 39th Amendment placed the election of key officials, including the Prime Minister, beyond judicial review. The 42nd Amendment 1976 went further. It granted Parliament unlimited powers to amend the Constitution, curbed judicial review, centralized power in Delhi, and shielded laws related to directive principles from any legal challenge. The judiciary, expected to defend the Constitution, failed at a crucial moment in the infamous ADM Jabalpur versus Shivkant Shukla 1976 case. The Supreme Court held that citizens had no right to life or liberty during an emergency. Detention without trial became legal. Implications of national emergency: India witnessed the consequences of concentrated power. Fundamental rights were effectively nullified. People were detained without cause. Dissent became dangerous. Executive dominance grew unchecked. Parliament, state governments, and even courts were sidelined. The federal balance collapsed. States lost autonomy as the center imposed its will under Article 356. Elections were postponed. The term of the Lok Sabha was extended, undermining the very core of representative government. Press freedom was choked. Censorship turned newsrooms into echo chambers for state propaganda. The emergency had become a cold, bureaucratic clamp on liberty. Reforms after the emergency 44th Amendment Act of 1978. When the emergency was lifted in 1977, people responded with resolve. In a historic election, Indira Gandhi and her Congress party were defeated. The Janata government came to power, a testament to the public's unyielding spirit. Realizing the fragility of liberty, Parliament passed the 44th Amendment Act 1978. It changed the rules forever. Emergency could now only be declared in case of armed rebellion, not vague internal disturbances. The cabinet's written approval became mandatory for such proclamations. The term of Lok Sabha and state assemblies were reset to 5 years. Judicial review was restored and press freedom was protected. The Election Commission was empowered in matters of disqualifications. India had learned its lesson. Legacy and lessons, the price of silence. The 1975 emergency remains a chilling reminder of how easily rights can be stripped away when power is unchecked. It taught us civil liberties are non negotiable, they must be defended even in crisis. An independent judiciary is essential to balance executive power. Freedom of the press is not a luxury but a necessity for democracy. Election must be free and fair. Without them, democracy is hollow. Decentralized power and public vigilance and are bulwarks against tyranny. And most importantly, the people's voice matters. The fall of a government born out of emergency proved that the spirit of democracy lies in its citizens. 50 years on, as India reflects on that dark chapter, one truth stands tall. Democracy is not just a system, it's a daily act of courage, responsibility, and vigilance. The emergency tested India's soul. India survived, and in surviving, it vowed never again. Thank you for watching Curious Academy, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.